Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 17th of August. So, well, there's little in the way of news. In fact, there's no significant news out or risk events this morning or today. So we're left down to purely technicals. Starting off with the euro dollar on those technicals then. And well, just looking from a daily perspective then, last 3 days of last week, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all ended up positive. We're pushing up again at the moment to the upside here as well. So as I say, all positive. Coming down just to look at the hourly time frame, we have got the daily pivot untouched below. Maybe if we get any sort of correction, that would be a target, but for now, with this price action that we've seen here, it's a steady move, just consolidation. Maybe we will get a continuation to this. Now we're closing in, we've moved into last week's highs here. Maybe we've got the potential to push into the previous week's highs, so that's a possibility. The near-term highs there sitting at 119 sort of area, so there's a possibility. We're only about 40 pips, 38 pips away from it at the moment, but today, well, just consolidation at the moment. As I said last week, and we're sort of moving into that proper holiday phase at the moment, and it could just be a slowish old start, so we'll be patient with this. But as I said, if it starts breaking down, maybe we'll see post 8 o'clock. We'll look to trade it towards that, well, at least the 50 MA, if not the pivot himself. To the upside, well, there is the opportunity at some point to trade it back to that 119 area. The pound. So the pound very consolidated over the last 2 weeks. Very little way in the overall movement. And the consolidation seems to be getting tighter at times. Certainly last week the range was smaller than the previous week. Well, at the moment it's just very bitty, quite whipsaw at times. At the moment it's putting a bullish pivot swing in. Maybe if we see a continuation of this, we could see a move up towards the at least the body highs here at 131.26, maybe even the R1. So there's potential for a little bit more. I say a little bit more, but some further movement post 8 o'clock, but we'll see what comes of that. At the moment I'm just sort of bullish. The bearish side doesn't really exist there too much for me. We'd have to see a breakdown of this sort of major trend line. I say major, but significant trend line that runs across the lows there. So that's the pound. The yen. Looking at yen, well, the yen broke the trend I was looking at last week, of course, and pushed on through, held up there. Friday sold off, and well, dollar softening Friday and into this morning here, coming down towards its weekly pivot as I'm recording this. It has got a daily pivot looking like it's untouched above, any bounces may run for that, but again, the way this market's moving at the moment, well, it hasn't got that continuous trend, but certainly in the short term it looks like it could get back to these key moving averages, maybe back to the 200, the 500 here. But overall this has been quite a tight old range, certainly 4 hourly wise, and well, for 3 days last week it was pretty range bound there. So the preference, I'm just sort of looking to see if it sort of continues this sort of the bigger time move to the downside there. Aussie dollar dailies, well, again, you just sort of look at this on a daily point of view, and it's really just tickling along sideways, very range bound, and again, just like the pound there, it's within the range of the previous weeks. So a tight old market consolidating. As I'm looking at it at the moment, well, it's trying to put a bullish pivot swing in here. It's been running up towards the latter part of last week, and well, we could see it's just sort of a continuation of that move. It has for long periods though done this sort of rangy sort of movement, and personally I think I'd just leave it alone at the moment. This light volume that's kicking around. Canadian dollar's been actually, dare I say, it's been moving a lot more logically at times, and I rarely say that because it's not a day trading currency for me, but in a way it's just been moving last week. Four downward days there. Okay, it bipped up on Friday there, softened up on Friday, but the Canadian dollar's been doing pretty well. Now it has got a weekly pivot above, but already showing signs of maybe further downside here. And let's just come on to the 60-minute here. So already through its daily pivot. Maybe for the lows last week's lows there may come into target again as we run through the day. So at the moment, really, I would only want to be on the short side of that market. So that's that. Let's have a look at oil. Oil was picking up at times last week. It's been a bit choppy, and it's a very tight range that it's sitting in now. The forecasts for next year weren't so good, and the forecasts as we look through this year are not particularly good. It's still sitting, seeing the futures there, it's sitting at $42 in December, which is not particularly positive on this market. And as I say, it's just slowed up somewhat. If you look at it, different time frames here, drifted off on Friday. In the end, it looked at one stage that it might have broken through, but come the more meaningful time of the market, post 2 o'clock on this Western Texas, it just didn't do too much at all. Struggling to reach back into those highs properly. Latter part of the week, as I said, earlier part of the week, it just sort of pushed off there. Maybe we'll see it push up again. It's sort of marginally more biased to the upside at the moment on this market. Gold, let's have a quick look at gold. So gold, well, looking like it wants to push at the moment on the dailies. It's consolidated all this time here. High low come through on the 4 hourlies last week, and it's the biggest move we've seen for a morning for a little while. Maybe it is going to push on up there. The pivot's all very, very tight after last week's consolidation. Really didn't really do too much at all for a lot of it after the sell-off, and the consolidation just sort of sitting there. So maybe we'll catch a bit more of a bounce there. Personally, I'm just sitting on the sidelines here with gold at the moment. Okay, mainly because it's just sort of sitting here. Okay, if it pushes back above that daily 8, it would look more positive to me, and it would look like the bounce is sort of underway, or more significant bounce may be underway. Okay, and the S&Ps. I just don't want to get caught in the summertime chop. S&Ps dailies here, well, as you see, pretty sideways. They also have been sort of sitting in this. If you look at this 4 hourly picture, yeah, we had a sell-off in the earlier part of last week, but then it just got into a chop zone. It may push on and try and get out of that, but very choppy market to get into at the moment. And the switchbacks are quite quick, so we'll steer clear of it. But I think the bias still is towards the upside down the S&Ps. So that's it for me. No significant news today, so I wish you a great day in this lovely summer trading. Bye for now.